Hey gang, good afternoon. It's Wednesday, the 8th of June. Theme here is there's nothing to see here. It's Wednesday, I'm on the schedule to do a video, but if not, I wouldn't bother you because there's really nothing to see here. But what I have on screen is volatility over the same period of time that I was complaining about earlier in the week. And notice this, as we've seen virtually no movement in the S&Ps, but if we'll look at it in a minute, you could argue a few points lower, nothing really. But while that's the case, look at volatility is kind of just tapering off here. That's supportive of the idea that there's really nothing going on. Could you argue that since the highs of maybe late last week, since then we're a little bit lower, I guess, not much, but there's nobody that's wound up or excited or on edge about this. I can tell you that. Look, the bottom line is simply this: since about May the 26th, we've been in a range 100 wide from like 4080 by 4180, or 4070, you could argue maybe by 4170, 4080 by 4180, something like that. There are pockets of consolidation throughout. There's about maybe 2 on the top and 2 maybe in the bottom. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I really got nothing to say. I mean, it's Wednesday and we're supposed to kind of update you, but there is no update. Everything's the same as it was. The balance in the middle right here is about the same, 41.17, which is where things are right this minute. Above, there's a little bit of overhead that gets pivotal at 41.40. When it slips through 41.40, it tends to seem like it wants to reach up and test the 60s, back into the 40s, breaks back to the 20s. 20s break down to like 41.07, and below that it's like 40.95. It's there's nothing here. But I can offer you an explanation, I believe, as to why, and that's that if you go, look at, well, I'm waiting for the computer to catch up. Go, look at the VIX options chain for the 15th. That's 7 days from today. That's next, Wednesday, which is the Fed announcement, which is, look at this. Look at these numbers. There's, right in there, I believe I counted about 1.2 million of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, about 1.2 million over here, and like 800,000 stacked pretty kind of sporadically over here on the call side. And if that weren't enough, so see that there's a lot of insurance, a lot of hedge in there. And of course the market's just kind of sitting sideways waiting for this event next week, which we know to be on the 15th, which is when this VIX expires, which then would lead us to next would be the 2 days later on the 17th, when the quarterly expiration and just an enormous amount of, I'm going to start at about 4100 here, an enormous amount of SPX to come off as well. Look at this, 4100 stacked about 90,000, 80 to 90,000 every 50 handles. So you got 41, come up into 4150. There's another, 40 to 45 on each side. So another 80 to 90 there, come into 4200, same deal. Got 40, 45 on each side. Come to 4250, same deal. Come to 4300, you got 44 and 49, another 90 or close to 100,000 there. So 41 by 4300, and it's like every 50, handles every 50 points. And back to a chart for a second. So right now, since, like I said, about May the 26th, you can argue 26th, argue 27th, I don't know, whatever, right in there, 26 or something through today, it's 100 wide, like I said, 4080 by 4180. And, everything is reversed. Everything from a 5-minute candle to the next 5-minute candle, a 15, 30 minute to the next 30-minute candle, or daily to the next daily candle. You got big up here, then big down, then big up, then big down, then big up, then big down. It's back and forth. It's 100 wide, and it doesn't appear to really be coming out of that range at the moment. So I can't tell you what's going to happen next, I suspect that the song remains the same until it doesn't, right? That we stay just largely pinned like this. Not to argue that it couldn't break a little below, but snap right back. Or bid a little above and come right back, right? Not to argue that it couldn't do that, but largely this is like song remains the same. We're staying in this range for now. It appears that the hedge is on, the insurance is bought and paid for, and by the way, I anticipate that that's going to be a loss on next Wednesday. In other words, that it'll be a vol crush when that insurance comes off. And then the question will be, okay, well now is the market free now to then go roam, go meander about? As I would of course imagine that on Wednesday there's going to be some volatility, especially with that VIX coming off. There'll be, and the announcement later that day, there'll be some volatility there. But then to be contained in a little bit wider range on this one, a little bit wider range, because I showed you the SPX, volume and open interest. That was a little bit wider, but not really going anywhere until that then settles on the expiration, which would be on Friday, a couple days after the announcement and the VIX coming off. And now then we're free to move about. Then this thing's free to roam. And then the question becomes, all right, well then which way do you see? Do you see the surprise being to the upside or to the down? I think, the retail trade, the retail public is largely bearish, which means they're buying the puts that the dealers are selling to them on the other side of the spread, which leaves the dealers long the market, short puts long the market on the heels of this expiration, which will lead me to kind of suspect that the surprise is then to the upside, not to the downside like everybody would kind of be suspecting. But that doesn't matter for now. That's then. This is now. This is now. Right now, this is now. And there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to report. We're doing the same thing that we were doing a couple of days ago, which is the same thing that we were doing a few days and even a few days prior to that. And I'm not saying it can't try a little bit higher or lower, but it's really just, it's kind of pinned in here waiting for some of this hedge and expiration, I guess, and then to free this thing up to move. So all the targets and numbers and everything are the same as Monday. It's just Wednesday, and I'm supposed to do a video. So here we go. All right. Hope this helps. Good trade. Nice evening. Catch you again at the next update.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency. It's one of the things that won me